Hi, this is Jason Kanigan with another episode of AntiSocial Media. I'm laid up today. I've got a torn tendon in my leg that I tore a couple weeks ago getting into a car, of all things. One of those things that you could do a million times and never have this result, but this was the 1,000,001. And it's been getting better, and then yesterday it started getting worse again, and all the ibuprofen and naproxen don't seem to be doing a darn thing. So it's like having a knife in my leg constantly. And I can't really concentrate that long, so I'm just going to keep talking to you guys. For my rant today, I wanted to talk about this. This is Journals by Arthur M. Schlesinger Jr. And you've never probably heard of Arthur Schlesinger before, and that's unfortunate because the guy helped shape United States foreign and domestic policy for 50 freaking years. Okay? This guy, I mean, these journals started in 1952. Eisenhower was president, or just about to become president. Okay, I mean this is crazy stuff. This Arthur Schlesinger Jr. was a historian and a liberal policy thinker, and called upon by presidents all the way through Clinton to give opinions and for the State of the Union address and on major topics and that. So this is a pretty cool private papers account of what happened, and he's got a lot of opinions in here. Now, I found this book in the dollar store, okay, and it has a dust jacket. I have no idea where the dust jacket is because I keep rereading this book. I've read it at least a half a dozen times, and as you can see, it's not a tiny book. This guy hated Nixon too. It's just pretty funny because Nixon, after leaving office, ends up moving basically next door across the street from Schlesinger, and they share an adjoining wall, actually, so it must be a neighbor, which causes some trouble. So if you're interested in a behind-the-scenes account of policy and just politics, Washington-type politics, through those 50 years, this is the book to get. It's called Journals, 1952 to 2000 by Arthur M. Schlesinger Jr. And he sounds like a fun guy, a guy you'd like to sit down and have a beer with and just have a chit-chat about. And it's interesting to see how he mellows with age, how he views his so-called enemies from his youth mellowing with age as well. And then he was active in the Kennedy administration, so when that assassination happened, it was a huge personal shock to him. And he knew those guys. When Robert Kennedy was assassinated, same thing, big shock, right? And this is a guy who could call up Jackie Onassis and she'd return his call. They'd hung out quite a bit. So, well worth checking out. And I find it personally unfortunate that nobody knows who this guy is. This guy wrote the Vital Center, about American politics. He wrote histories of well-researched. I mean, this guy is not a slick historian. This guy went into the libraries and all that and poured over documents and in many cases actually knew the people. So he could get a very good account of what actually happened, because as he points out in here, documentation will only take you so far. His impression of books written about the Kennedy administration, for example, by people who weren't there, is that they're inaccurate. They really didn't get the whole story just by looking at papers. So, if I could sum up this rant, I wish more people knew about this guy, Arthur Schlesinger, and I'll link to his Wikipedia page in the description below, and you can go find out a little bit more about him yourself if you want. Very entertaining, very entertaining. He pretty much thought Nixon, Carter, and just pretty much most presidents were completely nuts, which is an interesting observation in the last 40 years or so. Maybe I can't remember, but I think Gerald Ford won out as one of the more sane ones. So he still wasn't happy with the pardoning of Nixon. So check that out. I wanted to show you the shaving collection, because I did shear myself yesterday, hair and goatee and everything like that. And so this is what a $75 shaving handle looks like. You can buy this one online. They call the handle, I think, knurled, but from my metal shop background, this is not knurled. This is like some sort of etched or something like that. But it's enjoyable to hold. the top part opens up like a butterfly. You unscrew it, and I'm trying to get this in a good spot for the camera. And the blade gets inserted like that. And you use either side. You gotta learn how to use it. It doesn't work like the Fusion. You gotta hold it at this 30-degree angle, and if you slice sideways, you're gonna cut your face open in that. So there is a bit of a learning curve to it, but it doesn't shave any slower than the Fusion blades. So the multiple blade thing is just a marketing myth. And you buy the blades in a little box like this for like $8, and I'm still on my first box. There's at least a couple of fresh blades still in here, and these boxes are kind of neat. They're a little plastic, but they've got a little slot in here in the bottom for you to stick the used blades back into, so that you don't dispose of them in a place that could hurt somebody. That's pretty cool. I forgot to bring my badger hair brush in here. Darn it! But I did bring the bay rum shaving soap, which you mix with water and apply with the brush. I don't know why I didn't bring the brush. It's strange. World War II. Oh boy, yeah, you can tell I'm getting older because no, I've always been interested in World War II, and I wanted to compare, contrast very, very quickly a couple of well-known documentaries on the topic. This one, The World at War, is pretty much the de facto #1 thing about it. It's made by British television. It's got Sir Laurence Olivier narrating it, and it's great. It has a bit of a slow pace to it, and Olivier's narration makes it sound like it happened a long time ago and very far away. And that's why when I got this, World War II in HD, and this is on Netflix right now, so you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. I was so surprised, and I wrote a review which got some small amount of attention in that. But this is truly excellent filmmaking. What they did differently here is, instead of having the narrator do a voiceover and it coming at you like the other one from a really distant time, they made this in the present tense, and they took the point of view of individuals in the conflict, men and women who were actually there. Where they could, they got the live person to talk a little bit. Of course, they're old now. And then they have an actor and a voiceover actor playing them in the reenactment. This version puts you in the action, and because it's cleverly done in the present tense, you are sucked into this world where you don't actually know what's going to happen next. I mean, you have the general idea if you know what happened in the history of the thing, but for that moment, when they're describing Guadalcanal and what it was like to be there in the present tense, and that you get the real sense of, hey, if I was there with this person, I could be dead any minute. So while the world survives, maybe you don't, right? So I really like the point of view that they chose to present this version in, and it is in HD, in color and that. So that's kind of neat. Both are worth watching. I don't know if you've seen True Detective. It's quality guaranteed. Ooh. In my used version here that I got on sale. This is great television. You may not like it if you don't like more drawn out, less action type things, but if you like drama and personality conflict, this is fantastic. These two actors, McConaughey and Harrelson, are at the top of their game in this. This is better than television deserves. In my opinion, this is movie quality stuff. The script is great, the actors are great, the situations and the arguments that they get in are fantastic. They go on a lot of long car rides through Louisiana because they're cops and they're trying to find stuff. So that gives them an opportunity to irritate each other and get on each other's nerves quite a bit and ask questions. And then Harrelson's actually like, why don't we make the car a place of peace and tranquility and quiet? Just stop talking, because he's so annoyed with what McConaughey is telling him about his personal views and that. So the conclusion of this was a little Hollywoodish, dust up. It's always about punching, right? And it was okay. but the 80% to get to the conclusion was really, really good, and I feel that makes up for it. It was well worth watching. So if you haven't seen True Detective, and you like dramas and thrillers and mysteries and that, and can handle periods without sustained action, then I would totally check that out. The last thing I wanted to share with you today is one of my harmonicas. This is a Hohner Special 20 in the key of C, and I got this. I got a cheap one at Cracker Barrel just to try it out and see if I liked it, and I did. And I also realized that playing the harmonica is actually much more difficult than I originally thought. So I got this one, which is a decent one, and then I got a couple of books which come with CDs, Harmonicas for Dummies, and also the guide for the musically hopeless, which I slashed out to put hopeful. But these come with DVDs you can put in your computer or stereo and play along with them. And they explain pretty well what's going on, and after a while you can accompany music that they're playing on here, so you can actually play something and not sound totally inept. So I've enjoyed playing this. I play this in the keyboard, neither very well, but I do enjoy it, and I thought I'd share that with you. So that rounds out this episode of AntiSocial Media. Thanks for watching.